Good morning, student. In today's video, I am going to revise a nice poem with you all. The name of the poem is The Last Bargain, and it is written by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, The Last Bargain, written by Rabindranath Tagore. So first, the name of the poet is not new. We already know that Rabindranath Tagore was one of the greatest poet, and he has written a book, Gitanjali, which had become very famous. So, the last bargain. Okay, the last bargain, children. It's a beautiful poem, and let me tell you about its background. A man was looking for a job. He was willing to serve anybody on payment. He was waiting to be hired. He walked along the stony road for an employer. The king, carrying a sword in his hand, came in his open royal vehicle. He caught the man by the arm and said he was ready to hire him with his power. But the offer was rejected, as power had no attraction for the man. The king went away. At midday it was hot, and the houses had their doors shut. The man was going along the irregular lane. An old man, on hearing his offer, came to hire him with his gold coins. He counted the coins one by one, but gold also could not persuade the man to sell his services. It was evening. The hedges round the garden were laden with flower. A lovely maid came out and offered to hire him with her smile. But she too went away disappointed. Her smile turned into tears, and she was lost in the dark. In the setting sunlight, the sand around sea coast shone golden. The sea waves beat their heads on the shore and broke up. A child sitting there was playing with sea shells. He said to the man that he was ready to hire him, but without any payment. The man finalized the deal. He joined the child in game, and since then he felt like a free man. So, children, what you learn from this poem? That we learn from this poem that the most important thing in our life is not the money, not gold, but it is the independent life. It is the independent life. So, people run after the money, people run after the power, but the best thing, children, we will be at peace when we will live freely. We will be not become the slave of anybody else, whether we get a lot of money or we get a lot of power. So this has been discussed in the poem. Okay, so now I will be telling you the children, who is the speaker of the poem here. The speaker of the poem is a man who is looking for the employer. So children, here the poem had a profound message. Freedom is more important than power, gold, or beauty. An employer becomes a slave or servant. He offers his services on payment. So he is duty bound to work for his employer. playing with a child ensures the man's freedom. So, children, this is the thing. All right. And now I will be reading the poem and doing the explanation of the poem. Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning. Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning. I was walking on the stone paved road. Sword in hands, the king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, I will hire you with my power. But his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot. Paragraph 2. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. He weighed his coin one by one, but I turned away. Now the third stanza I am going to read. It was evening, the garden hedge was all aflower. The fair maid come out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Her smile paled and melted into tears, and she went back along in the dark. Now the fourth line. The sun glistened on the sands, and the sea waves broke unwaveringly. A child sat playing with shells. He raised his hand and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. From henceforward, that warning stuck in child's play made me a free man. Okay, so now I am going to explain you the poem and the new word. Okay, the poem and the new word will be explained to you. Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning. Hire is take one service on payment. Hire is take one's service on payment. Chariot is royal card. Hand is caught. Okay. Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning. I was walking in the stone paved road. So a man was there and he was standing on the stone paved road. Okay. And so he was asking for a job. He told that somebody should come and hire me. Well, a king was going. So he was standing on the stone paved road. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. So in his royal chariot, the king came. He had a stone held in his hand. I will hire you with my power. I will hire you with my power. He is telling, I will hire you with my power. He was not interested in power, but the man was not interested in power, but his power counted for naught, and he went away in the chariot. So he was the old man. He was not interested in power, and he went away in his chariot. Okay, so children, the old man, the king hired him with the help of his power, but he refused. He told, no, I don't want to be hired with the help of the power. Okay, now, so here children, the king was ready to hire the speaker with his power. The speaker turned down the king's offers because he was not interested in power. What children, his power counted for naught mean that the king's power could not attract the speaker. The power counted for nothing. It means the speaker could not be attracted by the king's power. Okay, now the second line. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. He weighed his coin one by one, but I turned away. Now children, some of the word meanings I am going to write. Midday. Midday is noon. Midday is noon. Crooked. Lane. Okay, so these are some of the new words. Midday, noon, crooked, not straight, lane, street, pondered means thought, turn away means rejected. So now I am going to do the explanation of the second stanza. In the heat of the midday, now children, it was afternoon and the weather was very hot. The houses stood with shut door. All the houses which were there, their doors were shut. I wandered along the crooked lane. He wandered along the crooked lane, and an old man came out with his bag of gold. The old man came out with his bag of gold, and he pondered and said, he pondered and said, hire you with money. He told, I am going to buy your services with money. He turned away. He rejected the offer. He turned away the offer. So, why was the speaker wandering along the lane? He was wandering along the lane to look for a job. What did he want? He wanted to sell his services to somebody on payment. What offer did the old man make to him? The offer which the old man made to him, that he wanted to buy him from gold. What did the speaker reject his offer? He did not find freedom in it. Now children, pondered here means this is a new word. There are many new words, but this is a new word. It means thought. So that old man, he wanted to buy this man with the gold, but he rejected his offer. He did not want that money should overpower him. Okay. And the old man rejected his offer because he did not find freedom in the gold or the money. So he rejected him. Now it was evening. The garden hedge was all aflower. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Her smile paled and melted into tears, and she went back alone into the dark. So now children, this is the third stanza of the poem, and I will be writing you the new words. So some of the new words are hedge is fence, laden with flower, fair is charming, maid is girl. Uh, melted is dissolved. Now children, it was evening time, and the garden hedge was all aflower. The fence of the garden, it was full of flower. It was the whole fence was laden with flower. A beautiful and charming girl came from inside the fence and said, I will hire you with a smile. She told the old man that she was going to hire him with a smile. Her smile paled, it became weak and faded and melted into tears, and then suddenly she started crying, and she went back alone into the dark. She went back alone into the dark. So now I will be asking you something. Now, what does the expression the garden hedge was all flower mean? So here in this poem, the garden hedge of wall flower means, that means the garden hedge was laden with flower. Who came to the speaker? A girl came to the speaker. What did she offer to the speaker? She offered the speaker her sweet smile, but he rejected his smile. And children, the girl shed tears because the speaker rejected her smile. What did the man wanted in the real sense, actually his freedom, which he knew he could not buy from her smile, so he rejected her smile. Now, so children, this now I'm going to read the last paragraph. This is very important. The sun glistened on the strand, and the sea waves broke, wave wildly. A child sled playing with shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. From henceforward, that bargain struck in child's play made me a free one. The sun glistened on the sand, and the sea waves broke, wave wildly. A child sat playing with shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. From henceforward that bargain struck in child play made me a free man. How beautiful are these lines. So first the new words. So children, the new words are here. Glistened is shown. Okay, what is the other word? Let me check. Waywardly. Waywardly. Without a play. Okay. Waywardly without a play. A child sat playing with shells. Shell is hard covering of small sea animals. Hands forward. Bargain, deal. Struck, done. Finalize the bargain. Okay, listed means shown. Wave only without a play. Henceforward after that, bargain is deal. Struck is done or finished the bargain. A very, very beautiful line of the poem. Okay, the sun glistened on the sand. Now, children, it was a sea beach. I feel. Okay, yes, it was. It is a sea beach, and the sun was glistening. The sun was shining on the sand, and the sea waves broke waywardly. And children, the sea waves were coming in a particular style. Okay, a child sat playing with shell. So a child was playing with a shell. What is a shell? A hard covering of small sea animals. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, henceforward, after I hire you with nothing. That means I'm not going to. I'm hiring you with nothing. From henceforward, that warning struck in child's play. So from after that, that bargain which was struck done in child's play made me a free man. He became the free man. He was the most happiest man. He was one of the most contented men. And this happened due to this child. So first of all, which part of the day has been described here? It is, children, evening, because the sun is setting here. What was the child doing? He was playing with shells in the seashore. Third, the child was ready to hire the man. He had only seashells to offer him. He had nothing to offer him. Why did the man accept the child very much? Why did the man accept the child offer? Because he promised him joy as well as freedom. Now this is the point, the most important point, the message of the poem. Why did the man accept the offer of the child? Because it promised him joy as well as freedom. And children, the word which means shining here is glistened. So children, with this I end my poem here. Okay, the message which is wanted to convey by the poet Rabindranath Tagore, that children, freedom is a more important thing than the wealth, power, gold or beauty. An employer become a slave or servant. He offered his service on payment, so he is duty bound to work for his employer. Playing with a child ensured the man's freedom. Okay, so this is the thing. Now Children, now the textbook question and answer. So who is the speaker in the poem? A man looking for his employer is the speaker of the poem. The king's sword in his hand suggests, children, power. The king's sword in hand suggests wealth, power, or more power than wealth. So it suggests power. The old man offered the speaker a lot of money. Why did he turn down the offer? The man did not need money. He valued his freedom more than becoming a slave for gold. Okay. Find in the poem line that match the following. Read both one after another. I have nothing to give you except goodwill and cheer. I hire you with nothing. So, second, her happiness was no more than sorrow in disguise. So find out the poem line that match the following. So I think this line matches it. Her smile paled and melted into tear. Okay. The king might was not worth much, but this power counted for naught. Now, fifth one. How did the speaker feel after talking to the child on the beach? The speaker felt after meeting the child that he would get satisfaction, joy, or happiness after, and freedom. Now children, I will be telling you something about the additional question here. What is a bargain? What attempt does a man make to strike a bargain? So a bargain is an agreement in which parties promise to do something for each other. Okay. A bargain is an agreement in which parties promise to do something for each other. The man wants to be hired. The king tries to hire him with his power. But for the man, power count for nothing. Then comes the rich old man with his gold coins. The third person who wants to hire the man is a pretty girl, but the man does not need power, gold, and sweet love. He finally strikes a bargain with a little child for no price. His satisfaction is that he will remain a free man. What is the speaker's last bargain? Why does he call it at the last? So the speaker's final bargain is with a child playing with shells on the sea beach. The child has nothing to pay in return. So the child has nothing to pay in return. Still the man strikes the deal, playing the child will make him a free man, not a slave or servant. What message does Tagore's poem convey? Why does he try to highlight? A poem has a profound message. So this poem has a profound message. Freedom is more desirable than power, gold, or beauty. An employee become a slave or servant. He offers his services on payment. So he is duty bound to work for his employer. Playing with a child ensures the man's freedom. The poem has a profound message. Freedom is more desirable than power, gold, or beauty. An employer becomes a slave or servant. He offered his services on payment, so he is duty bound to work for his employer. Playing with child ensures the man's freedom. And children, this what is the poem? The last bargain is about. So this can be the long question. It describes a summary of the poem. What is the central idea of the poem? Thus, last bargain. The central of the poem is that the man wanted, the king wanted to hire him. The old man wanted to hire him with the help of his gold. The king wanted to hire him with his power. The lady wanted to hire him with her smile. But the child did not want to hire him for, he wanted to hire him for nothing. So children, the central idea of this poem is that the freedom is the most important thing rather than gold, power, smile. Okay, this is the most powerful thing. And so we have to be duty bound, but at the same time we don't have to, children, lose our freedom. Why does a man want most? The man want most his freedom. Who does the speaker meet in the evening? So children, the speaker meet in the evening the small boy, okay, and it is his last bargain. The child is playing with a shell, and on the sea beach the child has nothing to pay in return. Still the man is striking the deal. Playing with the child will make him a free man, not a slave or servant. So children, freedom will always be important, not only for us but for everybody. Even for bird, they did not like to live in a cage, they wanted to fly, they also love freedom. So with this message children, I end my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.